Well, cutting across to news that's coming in from Kolkata right now, the ED is conducting raids at the residence of the West Bengal Minister Jyotipriyo Mallick in Salt Lake in Kolkata. This is in connection with an alleged case of corruption in the ration distribution. Now, the ED team entered Bengal's Forest Minister's residence this morning. He is under the scanner in the Ration scam. We're going to try and bring you pictures in just a bit. There we have it, pictures of his residence that is being raided in Salt Lake. Shravan Sen joins me on the phone line. He has more details on this. Shravan, tell us more, please.
Look, this comes in after opposition party in West Bengal had basically alleged that a businessman, Waqibur Rahman, who was basically arrested by the enforcement directorate just about a few days ago, was involved in the ration scam linked to the state's food department. What we are essentially looking at right now, earlier in the day, roughly around 7 o'clock this morning, is when the searches began at the residence of the minister. Earlier, remember when the businessman was arrested from his residence in Kolkata, ED at that point in time had also carried out searches at various rice mills. The locations included rice and flour mills, about a 3-star hotel, a bar which is owned by the businessman. And the allegations essentially that has been leveled is that there have been quid pro quo in the food scam. In fact, they say that the businessman was a key player in siphoning of food grains, and this was during the pandemic when the food grains were stolen from the quota, which is essentially allotted for midday meals and was supposed to be served to school children. And in fact, this is an issue that has also been raised by the West Bengal Congress party. In fact, they say that the direct beneficiary happens to be Trinamool Congress top leadership.
All right, and Shravan, obviously, this is going to make things tougher for the Trinamool Congress. We've got Mahua Moitra already facing the heat in, what is being known as the cash for query scam. And for West Bengal's government, it's had several of its ministers under the scanner. So how do you think they're going to react to this?
Remember, following the arrest of Waqibur Rahman, you had Trinamool Congress then not defending the businessman and saying that, in fact, if I remember correctly, the state vice president at that point in time had said that getting rich cannot be considered a crime, but at the same time did not even defend the businessman, saying that the party does not tolerate corruption, and if at all anyone is found guilty, then they will certainly face the consequences. But important to point out here is that at that point in time, this was with regards to the arrest of a businessman, from which it was perhaps easier for the Trinamool Congress party to distance themselves. Now, with the searches that have been carried out, these searches have been directly linked to the Bengal minister, and the team has reached the residence and few other properties that have been connected with the businessman as well as with the minister. That is the reason why perhaps it's going to get even more difficult. And more importantly, we are looking at least 4 cases currently being probed by the central agencies that have some direct or indirect connection with ministers of the Trinamool government.
All right, Shravan, thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast. So Shravan taking us through the details of what's happening right now. As Shravan is pointing out, of course, raids are currently on in the Ration scam. Let's go across to Saikat Pal, who's reporting from outside the minister's home in Salt Lake, I beg your pardon. Let's cut across to him. Saikat, give us a sense of what's happening from where you're reporting. All right, I don't think we've been able to establish that connection with Saikat yet. We'll go back to him in just a bit. But pictures on your screen are of the residence of the West Bengal Minister Jyotipriyo, who has been raided in connection with the Ration scam. Now, this comes, of course, after West Bengal's opposition parties have alleged that businessman Waqibur Rahman, who was arrested by the ED in the early hours Saturday, is involved in a big scam in the state food department. This is being known as the Ration scam right now. All right, Saikat Pal with us now, joining us from outside the minister's residence in Salt Lake. Saikat, good morning. Give us a sense of what's happening around you.
Yeah, morning. Enforcement Directorate raids continue at State Food Minister, former State Food Minister Jyotipriyo Mallick house at Salt Lake. Here, Central Forces around his house. Central Forces, huge Central Forces has been deployed at around his house, and Enforcement Directorate investigating the matter of ration scam. Enforcement Directorate investigating this matter, ration scam matter, where a huge percentage of rice has been cutted from the ration dealers. And when this scam was happened, this Jyotipriyo Mallick was food minister of the state West Bengal. Thus ED officers entered into his house around 7 o'clock, and almost 10 to 15 minutes over, ED officers questioning former food minister Jyotipriyo Mallick for ration scam, and one person named Bakibur Rahman has been arrested by ED few days ago. And Bakibur Rahman is one of the mastermind of this ration scam. And when this scam was happened, Jyotipriyo Mallick was the food minister of the state of West Bengal. So the ED questioning him on this ration scam, and ED officers are making confront with some documents which was seized by ED from Bakibur Rahman's flat. Right now, for the last 1.5 hours, Enforcement Directorate raid is continue at state former food minister Jyotipriyo Mallick house at Salt Lake.
Republic TV over there bringing us the latest of what's happening outside the West Bengal minister's home. ED officials are currently conducting the raid.